Sounds good.
So the story of the dinghy. We went to Dubrovnik at the end of September and met Janie and David, who were anchored up the river, which is on the port side of Dubrovnik Harbour. Really great little anchorage. We had a lovely few days, or a couple of days, with them, and had been out the night before into Dubrovnik for a look around and dinner and that sort of thing, which was really nice. And in the morning, I decided that I was going to take the dinghy and go and drop it off the rubbish. So I got in the dinghy, as I normally do, started it up. It kind of pulled out the choke, kind of didn't go very well. But anyway, for some reason, I, left the boat, and it was sputtering away a little bit, and I must have turned the throttle a little bit, and suddenly it kicked in and reared up on the front and threw me off the back. And I didn't have the safety key on. And I think what also happened was the throttle has a sort of a tightener on it that you can tighten if you don't want to, keep your hand on the throttle the whole time. So it just gives your hand a bit of a rest. And normally I like that really loose, so that when your hand comes off, the throttle goes back pretty much to neutral. But anyway, it stayed on, and it was sort of steering itself in circles, going quite fast, and circling around me, hitting Jethro, doing another circle, hitting Jethro, doing another circle. I was kind of screaming and absolutely petrified it was going to run me over. But then it just suddenly hit Jethro one last time, straightened up and took off across the river. And luckily it didn't hit anyone else. It didn't hit another boat, and it just found a gap between two boats that were on the edge of the river and jumped itself up onto the edge of that before it actually crossed the road. And it stopped. So that was the end of, not the end of Jethro, baby Jethro, but it was the end of it buzzing around the river. And I thankfully I was screaming a bit, and thankfully we had some lovely neighbours who came and helped me get out of the water. Of course, Ian was there also helping me get out of the water. And then our lovely neighbours also helped us go over and rescue baby Jethro. So this video is a bit about, shows you where she ended up, shows you a bit of the damage and a bit of our repair. Not hugely in detail or anything, but what we went through to get her back in ship shape. As all boaties know, you really can't go anywhere without a dinghy. We need it as our transport. It's like a car, and so we needed to fix that before we left to go to second season. So we did some of it before we left, and we ran out of time before we went to New Zealand, and we've done the rest of it when we got back to Kotor. So hope you enjoy the video. So this is the view from the boat that went across here. You can see there's two boats there. And this was the damage when the guys got over to have a look at it. The biggest damage was on that starboard side there, and on the very front of the dinghy. So it was surprisingly better than we thought. This is at the front. quite damage on the fiberglass at the front of the dinghy, and of course the whole starboard side was flat. Some damage to the outboard propeller, right down on the bottom there.
What's your tender's name?
That was it. Special thanks to Janie and David on Adventurous from Australia for all their help and support, and we did have another couple of boats who were amazing as well, so thanks to them. So we got baby Jethro up onto the bow of the boat and went to Kotor. We were only a few days away really from getting down there, and we were going to a marina as soon as we got there to do the last of the jobs and get Jethro ready for the winter, and we were coming back from New Zealand. So we just started doing some work on her. Okay, this morning we've started to repair the dinghy. We've removed some of the PVC and have trying to leave the bottom PVC intact so we can just repair that piece and fiberglass this, and then do some minor repairs on the rubber there, and then or PVC, and then a bigger repair later on. But yeah, watch the space. Okay, so we cut away the bit that was broken and have done our first fiberglass job ever, and Ian's just sanded it back.
Today's job was putting the patch inside the tube. We glued one side over here, folded the patch over and glued one side on this side, and then we let that dry a bit, and then we folded it out and glued the other side on here, and now we've got it all clamped. So the idea being that is going to probably stop most of the year, hopefully. That's the plan. I don't know if it will fix it properly, but then we can pump the side up, and with the pressure in here, the pressure in the tube, we can put another patch on the outside, which then we hope will do it. And then this all fits up here. This bit here is all part of attaching it to the transom like that side. So that's the plan. This is the real culprit that causes this sharp bit here, caused the problem, and this bit that's supposed to protect it didn't go up high enough. So as this clips in around there, so that was vulnerable. Anyway, that's the plan. So you can see that the whole tube's twisted a lot because that should be upright like that. Anyway, that's the day's work, most of the day's work anyway. It took a while to fart around with it. Well, we pumped the dinghy up this morning, and there is a small leak still coming from the inside patch, which we kind of thought would happen, but not as bad as we expected. So we're going to carry on with the plan. The leak is just on the edge of this grey bit here, where the end of the tear is. Coming out down that far too, is it?
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was about where your finger is, but in that black mark. But anyway, it is leaking there. So now we put another patch on the outside, give it all a bit of a clean up, and hopefully we'll have it done and protected from further damage in the future. Nice morning for it.
Do you think we should try and take that off?
Kerry?
So we're back to the dinghy today. It's been days now in the rain with no air leaks, so that's good. So now it's utilising this wonderful sunshine to get the inflatable part connected to the hull, starting with the back, and then we'll get to the front after we've connected all the back up. That's the plan.
It's looking good.
So today I've done one bit and I'm going to do another bit later on with your help.
Okay.
So,
I'll get back to my generator.
yeah.
Today we're back on the dinghy. We've got, and yesterday we were on it. Kerry put this patches and PVC on here to stick the hull back to the transom and the fiberglass, well not the hull, the tubes to the hull, fiberglass hull and the transom. So that all worked out pretty well. A little crease in there. It's kind of tricky getting around the corners, bends, and getting it to stick. And today we are returning to the biggest part of the damage, where we've fixed the air leaks there, and we re-fiberglassed that end of last summer, and we just have to put a bit more fiberglass on the top piece here. We're going to cut that back to there when we're finished, and then we glue the tube to that. So that's going to be probably the next day or two. Hopefully by then we'll be done and the dinghy will be restored.
We got the outboard straight out of the water and started it, and that went well. It just had a few scrapes on the prop, which have been ground back so that they're nice and smooth, which is fantastic. And voila, she's in the water, all pumped up, all repaired. Needs a little bit of gel coat on the front, which I will do shortly. And took it for a test drive, and our car is back in action.